بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Today's lesson is one of a new maxim, which is the maxim of not repeating the prayers, of course. قاعدة لا تعاد, not repeating. What does that mean? What is the essence of this maxim? This maxim states that if you did your prayers and something happened during the prayers, an error, a mistake, then you don't repeat the prayers unless these errors or mistakes are in 5 areas. Only in these 5 areas. Other than these 5 areas, you don't repeat the prayers. You finish it and then you offset the prayers by sujdatay sahu. So you don't cut it, okay, halfway through. You complete your prayers. But if the fault or the error is with 5 items, then the prayers has to be repeated. And of course, the errors should be unintentional. Unintentional. غير عمد. ولا تقصير. And some of them, they say, you have to know the rules of the prayers. So it has to be unintentional and with knowing the rules. Now, this maxim depends on a hadith. The hadith is sahiha. So when we study the evidence is number one evidence is sahiha. No, sahiha. It's not in the Quran. It's hadith. It's in the hadith, and the hadith is sahiha. The riwayah is authentic. Okay? Which is acceptable. Sahiha has a name or nickname, Sahiha Zurara. The narrator, his name is Zurara. Zurara ibn A'yan. This is his full name. He was one of the companions of the 6th Imam. The 5th and the 6th Imam. The 5th and the 6th. Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq. What does the riwayah state? The riwayah states, لا تعاد الصلاة إلا من خمس. The prayers is not repeated except the errors are in 5 areas. Area number 1, where is it? At-tahur. At-tahur. So this is one area. Purity. Tahur. What does it mean, tahur, my friends?
You didn't have wudu.
Exactly. At-tahur. Tahur. Okay? So someone who did it without wudu. Someone who did not do wudu, and then he realized he did the prayers without wudu. So definitely here, you have to repeat the entire prayers. This is number 1. Number 2, or someone who did wudu, but then what? Or he voided the wudu. Or he did wudu, but then he remembered, oh, I was junub. I should have done ghusl. Wudu is not sufficient. I should have done ghusl, not wudu. Okay? So his wudu is invalid, because in this case he requires his junub. In order for him to remove the effect of janaba, he has to perform ghusl, not wudu. So this is number 1. What is number 2? والوقت, the time. What does that mean, my friends? Let's say more Fajr is 5:25 nowadays, 5:25. He woke up at 5 and he said, let me do it now because I want to go back to sleep. And then he realized that, wow, still the Fajr is not there. So in this case, he has to repeat the prayers because it was outside the boundaries of time, outside the allocated time, the designated time. So definitely it has to be repeated, even if it is 1 minute. Some people say it. What difference it makes, you know? I prayed at 5:24, it's 5:25. Well, I don't know, you know. You go to the airport and the flight is 8 a.m. and you arrive 5 minutes late. They tell you, that's it. We close the gate. You can't tell them, well, 5 minutes or 3 minutes. They tell you. The other day I had really to get something from the bank, some money, I needed some cash. And I arrived, by the time I arrived, he locked the door. He saw me coming, he saw me. Believe me, he saw me. And he locked it. And I told him, and it was Friday. It was Friday. So he said, sorry, 5 p.m. You can't argue. Number 3, the third thing that the has to be repeated, al-qibla. If he did his prayers to this direction and the qibla was exactly the opposite, or more than 90 degrees. Up to 90 degrees, it's okay. More than 90 degrees, the prayers has to be repeated. More than 90 degrees against the qibla. It has to, but up to 90 degrees, it's okay. Okay? Yeah. And 90 degrees is this. Yeah. This is 90 degrees. It's big. But still, it's forgiven. So this is number 3. What is number 4? What do you think number 4 and number 5 are?
Maybe I forgot the niyyah.
We will come to that.
What if he has shak in the middle of, like, doubting God's existence?
No, doubting God's existence in the middle of the prayers does not invalidate your prayers. But rejecting God, it would. But not doubting. Many people, they doubt. Every day they doubt many times. Doesn't invalidate their acts of worship. Number 4 is al-ruku'. Bowing, ruku'. And number 5 is as-sujood. Okay? Ruku' and sujood.
Meaning forgetting to do it?
Yes. If he totally forgot to do the one ruku' or one of the sujoods, then in that case there is no offset. You have to repeat the prayers.
And he has yaqeen that he forgot.
Yes.
Not that he
No.
Yaqeen.
Doubt, we mentioned that last time. If you have doubt, then you apply the maxim of conclusion, qa'idatul faragh. You passed that area, then you have doubt about it. Did I do or not? You say yes. If you have passed that area, khalas. You said, I've done it. No, here he knows. He knows he didn't do ruku'. And we will give some examples now, soon, inshallah. Okay. Now, there are some ishkal, some problems here. This maxim says you don't repeat except for these 5. Other than that, you can offset. Finish the prayers, offset the prayers with sajdatay saw. But these things, sajdatay saw does not work. If you don't have wudu, 500 times you do sajda doesn't count. Okay? Number one, we have some problems here on this maxim. Number one, isn't it Allahu Akbar, Takbiratul Ihram, part of the arkan?
Yes.
So why that one is not mentioned here?
I thought about that one.
Hmm?
I thought about that one. Actually.
Yeah.
I didn't,
Isn't it niyyah? Niyyah also. Niyyah means you have to know what you are doing. Yes, you don't have to mention it with your mouth. You don't have to word it and speak it. But you have to be aware. But if you are not aware, someone asks you, listen, what are you doing? You tell them, oh, I don't know. I'm just doing ruku'. No, you have to know this is Fajr, this is Dhuhr, this is Asr. Is this mandatory? Is this not mandatory? Is this nafila? Is this faridah? You have to know. This is the meaning of niyyah. But why it's not mentioned here? Niyyah is not mentioned. Takbiratul ihram. Then notice, it's only ruku' and sujood. How about qiyam? Qiyam also. Qiyam is rukn. We studied this in Shara'i al-Islam when we were studying the arkan, the pillars of the prayers. One of them is takbiratul ihram, the entrance, the dukhul. When you enter the prayers, this is rukn. You can't begin the prayers with not saying Allahu Akbar. You can't just stand and say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah. No. You have to begin with takbirah. And you have to have qiyam. You have to have qiyam. Qiyam is just like ruku' and sujood. It's a pillar. So why these three are not mentioned here? Are they neglected, forgiven, or they have different
These
rulings?
are like the shower of these, they manifested in the prayer.
So,
By looking at that, you know that the person is doing the prayer. So when someone's doing the ruku, obviously he's doing the prayer. When somebody doesn't do Allahu Akbar, how would I know? That doesn't tell me anything. What ruku doesn't mean that it's a...
no, he himself, he realized that he did the prayers without saying Allahu Akbar. He remembered. Or without standing qiyam. Is his prayers counted? He said Allahu, he didn't say Allah. He came right away like some kids. He did ruku' immediately without qiyam. He knew. Is this counted? He concludes his prayers and he says Sahih.
Does that include the ruku' sujood being segments? Then we talked about segments before.
How about qiyam is not a segment? How about takbiratul ihram? These are also arkan. They are arkan. If you study in the fiqh, they tell you niyyah, takbiratul ihram, qiyam, ruku', sujood, tashahhud, taslim. Yes, qunut is not. Qira'ah is not rukun, qira'ah. But the qiyam itself is rukun, is a pillar.
Is the prayer counted any less in its strength? Without that?
Without what?
Without, let's say, the qiyam or the takbir? Or
Without qiyam, no prayers. Not it is counted less. No prayers. Counted no prayers.
But it's not part of the five. Okay.
Why it's not part of the five?
Good question.
Good question or bad?
It's a very good question. It's a trick question. It's hard to answer. Because I don't think they intentionally left it out. So there must be a reason.
No, it's not, of course. Okay. There are two answers, according to our author here. Answer number one, he says the hadith is assuming, this hadith is assuming that you already started the prayers. So you went through the niyyah, takbiratul ihram and qiyam. The hadith is speaking about your duty after establishing the prayers, after beginning the prayers. Meaning that if you don't have these three in the beginning, it's not even considered salat. They don't call it salat. If you don't have niyyah, takbiratul ihram and qiyam. If you don't have them, it's not even called or named salat. So salat does not begin without, does not even start or take off without these three items. So the hadith assumes that you have already started your salat with niyyah, takbiratul ihram and qiyam, and then while you started your salat, see, this is very daqiq, very, very meticulous. Once you started your salat, already you established it, it's running now, it's running now on the track, or the track, then you start having doubt. So بعد التكون, the fuqaha, they say بعد التكون. The doubt comes بعد التكون. What does تكون means? After the establishment of the prayers. After you have established the prayers. This is one justification. One justification, it says that we assume you already started. It's like what? Give me an example. It's like saying one of the main important violations of the traffic law is speeding. Then you ask the officer, officer, but how about not having a license? He says, listen, I assume that you already got the license and you became a driver. If you don't have a license, we don't even call you driver. We don't even acknowledge you that you are a driver. So we assume that you have driver's license, so we call you driver, and then we tell you one of the violations of being a driver, good driver, is speeding. So having a driver's license is granted. Are you with me? Or someone who's a student, the first day of orientation, they tell them, listen, those students who do such and such, let's say sexual harassment, which is the talk of the town, we will do such and such to them. Someone says, but for instance, you didn't count that someone is sitting in the class and he did not pay. He didn't register. We tell him, listen, we said students. Students means what? Means what? Means you have registered. Your name is there. Then the rules applies to you. We are not speaking about someone who's non-student. The same thing here. This is for the musalli. Who is the musalli? Musalli is the one who already started the niyyah, takbiratul ihram, and at least one item, the qiyam, then we call him musalli. Otherwise, if he's not musalli, these things do not even apply to him. Are you with me in this? This is one answer. The second answer. What is the second answer, my friends?
Anything to do with Jama'ah? Prayer in Jama'ah?
No, it has nothing to do. Because Jama'ah, my friends, we studied this. Jama'ah, even if you have doubt, you follow the Imam. One of the good things about Jama'ah, it gives you lots of relief. So you don't have to concentrate, am I in the second? This is why those who have waswas, shak, they doubt. Frequently they doubt. It's better for them to join the Jama'ah. So you don't have response. You go up and down with the Imam, follow the Imam and finish. It's better, yeah. So even if you have doubt in Jama'ah, this doubt is invalid because you follow the Imam. Okay? What is the second answer to this, my friends? My friends, we studied in fiqh, we studied arkan salat. Arkan, the pillars of the prayers. And we have dalilul rukn. Dalilul rukn, it means that the rukn has to be what? Performed. If the rukn is like a pillar, if the pillar is removed, the ceiling is going to collapse. If the pillar of one of these pillars of the prayers, the salat, the arkan, is going to be removed or it's missing, that's it. The salat collapses, becomes void. So you have to repeat it. So dalilul rukn, and then we have this hadith, this qa'idah. This is A, this is B, the qa'idah, the maxim. Okay? This one is bigger than this one. Dalilul rukn is bigger. Bigger than the qa'idah. Qa'idah is smaller, more restricted. It has only 5 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 items. This one has more items in it. So which one takes over? This one or that one? Dalilul rukn takes over. What is the fiqhi term for taking over? Ghalaba is correct, but they have a specific term. We spoke about it in the past. Exactly, supersede. Hukuma. Hukuma. Like ghalaba, we can't change it to ghalaba. Hukuma. Hukuma, it means that this dalil supersedes or takes over that dalil. Takes over. Okay?
We can use Trump.
Exactly. Takes over. So now, when it comes to the salat and what sort of things invalidate the salat or it does not invalidate, we have 2 maxims. One of them is dalilul rukn, the other is this hadith. Dalilul rukn is wider, bigger than this, and it has hukuma over this. So that remains true, but that is limited. This one is bigger than that. And there is no clash between them. One of them overtakes the other, encompasses, if you will, encompasses the other. This one encompasses this.
So it goes back to our discussion before about these maxims are in general, generality, but then if you have a specific law, that specific law then supersedes the general.
Absolutely. And sometimes these maxims among them, one of them overtakes the other.
We talked about
Overrides the other, one of them. Because one of them is bigger in scope than the other. We talked about this. And we will come and we will see. The more we study them, we will see sometimes when they get together, one of them takes over. My friends. So this one, just look at this, just this sentence, please, because this is very meticulous. Daqiq. Does this one cancel this, abrogate this?
no.
No. What does it do to it?
Supersedes it. You said it encompasses it. It's part of
And then what?
supplements.
So exactly, supplements this. And it makes it wider. It makes this one, the hadith that spoke about 5, it will add more items to it.
Generalizes.
Exactly. It makes the hadith broader. It does not cancel it. There is no clash between them. But it will make it wider and broader. Okay? This is number one discussion here about this riwayah. So the riwayah, this maxim, what is the madrak of this maxim? What is the evidence for the maxim? Is the riwayah. But then in the riwayah we have some discussions. We said one of these discussions, we mentioned that the riwayah, sometimes it sounds, when you look at it, that it's incomplete. But then it will be completed by the dalil which is overarching, the dalil that encompasses it. The second thing that we study, or beside the riwayah, the second madrak, the second evidence. So the first evidence is riwayah. The second evidence is what? What is the second evidence, my friends? Second evidence upon this maxim, beside the riwayah was number one. Number two is what? Number two, they call it at-tasalum. This is a fiqhi at-tasalum. What is at-tasalum, my friends? At-tasalum is another word of saying al-ittifaq. Al-ittifaq means an agreement. An agreement. Agreement to what? That all of the fuqaha, they have agreed upon this concept. That the prayers is not repeated unless with 5 faults. This is called tasalum.
Is it the same as ijma in this case?
It is a bit different. Tasalum, they have accepted this. Ijma', they reached consensus. Tasalum means they accepted this order. They accepted this agreement. They accepted it. Meaning that they even practiced it. It's common. It's common against amongst the fuqaha.
So traditional sort of.
Exactly. Strong tradition, tasalum. Now, there are two things here. Let's give an example. إذا سهى عن الركوع حتى دخل في السجدة الثانية بطلت صلاته. إذا سهى عن الركوع. If he forgets to do ruku' until he enters the second sujood. When do you have time to recover your salat? If you forgot to do ruku' while you are doing ruku', doing salat, you forgot to do ruku'. You did first sujood, so from qiyam you went immediately to what? Sujood. He did first sujood. But before doing, when he did the second sujood, he remembered that he did not do ruku'. In this case, he has to repeat the prayers. There is no recovery anymore. وَإِن تَذَكَّرَ قَبْلَ الدُّخُولِ فِيهَا. But if he had already did the first rak'ah, he was about to do the first sajda. He was about to do the second sajda. He remembered, he said, I didn't do ruku'. In this case, what does he do? You stand immediately. Do ruku', and go back for first sujood and second sujood. So you can recover. As long as you have not started the second sujood, you can recover your prayers. But after that, after finishing, what does he need to do? Two sajda of sahu. After finishing the prayers. Now, second example. If he forgot to do the two sujood from ruku', he went again to qiyam. Some people are so sleepy when they do their prayers. So he did hamd and surah, and then he did ruku'. And then when he stood for qiyam, some people they stand longer. Have you seen that? Go to Mecca and Medina, you will see what I am talking about.
5 minutes.
So he stood, Sami Allahu liman hamida, and he did, and then he forgot to go to two sajda. He thought that this is the second. It was so long, his qiyam, that he thought that he's in his second rak'ah. So he didn't do two sajda. He missed the two sajda. Okay? If he remembered while he's standing again, he should go for sujood. But if he did ruku' of the second rak'ah, thinking that he went for ruku', then it is too late.
So you say, so he goes into ruku', he says, Sami Allahu liman hamida, he stands up, and then he starts.
And then it was so long, and he was sleepy, you know how they, when they pray, very sleepy, and then he didn't go for sujood. When he opened his eyes, he thought that he's in the second.
What if he starts the hamd?
No problem. Hamd
okay?
and surah.
Oh.
Yeah, dhikr, it's okay. You can do hamd and surah.
Okay.
Before sujood,
Okay.
you can do many dhikrs. Tasbih, tahmeed, tahleel. This is why it takes sometimes 2 minutes, really. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can read Surah Al-Hamd. So, but he thought that this hamd is part of second rak'ah. He still can go and do the sujood and then stand again for the second. But if he did ruku', it's too late. Then he breaks his prayers, he exits, and then he has to repeat the prayers.
So Sam, you said initially the first one, once you pass the second sujood, it's too late.
For the ruku', if you have forgotten the ruku'.
For the
Yes.
For the first ruku' or
First, second, third, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
If you did not do ruku', and now you did one sujood, but you were about to do the second sujood, you remembered you did not do ruku', stand and do your ruku', and your prayers is okay. But you have to do sajdatay sahu at the end. But if you did the second sujood, and then you remembered you did not do ruku', then the salat is invalidated. With the ruku', you have time. With the sujood. With the sujood, you have time until the ruku' of the second rak'ah, or the third, or the fourth. You have time to recover it. But once you reach the ruku' of the second, of the later rak'ah, you are done. You have to repeat the whole prayers. So this is La tu'ad, the maxim of La tu'ad. Any questions here? There are some other details which I find them boring. It's not useful. I'm not going to mention them because it's really waste of time. Anything about this before we move to the next maxim? Time is it? We do have some time, huh? Or we don't?
Yeah.
Is this okay, or we go to the... What do you think? Go to the second class or second maxim? Maxim? Second class?
Well, it's 5 minutes before 8 o'clock, so
Yeah.
how long is the next lecture? It depends.
It's about 40 minutes. No, I mean the second maxim takes 40 minutes.
Oh, so okay, so we won't do it.
We do it tomorrow. No, we do the tafsir, of course. We do the second maxim tomorrow, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد